Forte, and today I want to give you a couple tips on how to sing This Is Me. This was such an incredible song from a great movie, The Greatest Showman. If you haven't seen it yet, go out and see it if it's still in theaters, or rent it. Own it! Yes, there you go. But no, I fell in love with this song while watching the movie, and then I went home and of course, went on a YouTube spiral like we all do. Don't we all do that? And found this video of them singing it just as the cast, as kind of like they're singing it to the producers to like get the movie greenlit. So it's an incredible video of getting to watch the cast almost more as themselves instead of it being in costume and in, with all the lights and the set and all of this stuff. It's just them in a room, no microphones, acoustic piano, like everything's just much more raw and real, and you really get to see them connect to this music. And I think that's so important, and especially because the beginning of the song is so soft and personal, and when she really just starts that, it's very emotion driven. And so that's the first thing that I would say about singing this song, is you have to let the emotion drive your vocal choices and your acting choices. It has to be about what connects you to the song. And so even more so than thinking about, this character that you play or things like that, especially because with a song like this, most of us are not going to be in a costume. It's not going to be a big dance number with a bunch of people behind us. You just have to sing it. And a lot of times it's you alone on a stage. And it's your connection to what you're singing that is really going to draw the audience in. So especially, again, this beginning is it's so powerful, but not vocally powerful. It doesn't have this big punch. I'm not doing this big belty thing. And so to really get that kind of a thing, you have to really make the emotional connection. So my challenge is find what in the song speaks to you. What's the story that you're telling? When is it that you have felt like somebody said to you that you would never be loved as you are? What is it that makes you feel like you have to hide away? What are those scars that you're ashamed of? And be willing to kind of show that. And that's a scary thing. And I feel like the ones that stick out to me, like if you really go through this, honestly, all of those stuck out to me. But when I was really going through this, the challenge that I laid on my students was to figure out, what does it mean to be brave and bruised? And for me, that was because I'm such a perfectionist. It was really challenging for me to recognize that it is brave to be bruised and recognize that that's who I'm meant to be. That it's still okay for me to not be perfect and for me to screw up sometimes. And so I think it's really important that you make an emotional connection and choose what you're doing with your voice based on that. So when you sing these words of even just I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. Make all of that about the emotion, right? That's not that big, powerful, punchy part. And I think so often we get caught up in trying to learn, I want to be able to belt these end things and do all this crazy high stuff that Kala does, which is incredible. But if that's not as powerful without the opening emotion in that really shows that depth and shows that vulnerability, really being able to make that an authentic connection to what you're singing. So the next thing I would say is then the next part of the song, right? When we come in and you kind of actually have a beat. And I feel like it's really important that this song has that groove, and you kind of feel that groove, and the lyrics do that, but you still have this underlying smooth tone. So we talked about this a little bit in the Beauty and the Beast video of how I want to have good diction, but these things should still, it shouldn't be that I'm hitting all these notes or I end up with this kind of jerky feel, right? So I want to think in the chorus, right? I have, when the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. And I have this whole kind of, man, like I can hear it in my head. Dun, dun, dun. It's got a groove to it. You gotta be able to groove to the music, man. Sorry, my brother's a bass player, so I grew up with this. You gotta find the groove, you gotta sit in the pocket. Like, all the time. I got it drilled into me. So I'm very particular about that. Like, you gotta have that groove and let your lyrics drive that, but not your tone. So I want to think about being able to kind of hit that, and if I just sing it on ooh, 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 you can hear that there's a couple of those places where it's the same note. I'm not hitting it again. So I don't want to hear ooh, 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 where I'm hearing that every time, ooh, 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 ooh. No, because if you add words on top of that and you make them really crunchy diction, then you're gonna have this, I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be, and it's gonna be, we get that jerky, like the beginning of a roller coaster feeling where you're going up and you just, I've got a headache already because I'm whacking my head against things. Okay, but you want to actually have, if I'm really gonna sing that just kind of on that ooh, 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 that's all one thing. Ooh, where those notes are, I'm still just holding ooh, all on one little thing. So I can add that lyric super kind of crunchy. So a lot of times I'll think about speaking it first. I want to find that rhythm and I want to really be able to work on the diction. So just speak it. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. So I can really kind of find, okay, where is that groove? Where am I hitting? Where is all of that? And I want to kind of drive it. Now, I'm a rusher, so I always think a little bit of being in the front of the beat rather than sitting in the back of the beat. This song in particular sits in the front of the beat. Again, it's not rushed. For those of us that are rushers, you gotta, this is where my brother used to yell about finding the groove. Don't rush, you gotta still sit in the pocket, but you can't be behind. If I'm doing this, the opening is very, when the sharpest words wanna cut me down, right? Everything's kind of, I'm gonna send a flood, because it's very on no time, right? But if I do that while the band is doing, and I'm still doing, when the sharpest words wanna cut me down, gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I almost can't do it, like I can't do both. So once the band comes in and you have that kind of groove going, you've got to kind of pick it up and fit. It's not faster, I'm not rushing. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I don't wanna do that, but I wanna hit that groove and feel that my lyrics are driving that. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, right? So everything kind of hits on that forward part. So that's the fun part. Then the last thing is really make those ad-libs your own. And this goes back to point number one of just making that emotional connection. I feel like it's really important that you don't try and be somebody else, especially when you're singing a song that says, this is me. If this is you, it needs to be you. So now there are awesome things. I mean, she does just an incredible job. And there are some things that I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. And that really connects with me. Her little, and I know that I deserve your love. There's nothing I'm not worthy of. Like, that's awesome. You know what? Because that connects with me. Like, I have an emotional connection to that phrase. So if that's true, great. That's awesome because you can still sing it from your own story. But especially in the parts, in the little ohs where she's just kind of playing, as I say, right? You want to be able to play yourself. And I feel like this is a great song and great opportunity for if you're not super comfortable with riffing or with ad-libs or things like that. This is a great place for you to kind of get your feet wet and start to just kind of work on that. So we're just going to do a quick little, I don't know what I want to call, quick little exercise so that we get to just kind of play. Honestly, we're going to do a quick little play. So the biggest part that she super ad-libs over is when they do the double OOs. So they're doing this this is me, and it does it again, and she's like going crazy and doing all this, right? There's all this stuff, and at the end they're still doing OOs while she's just going bananas. So it's a nice thing because what I like to do is kind of take that melody that you're super familiar with because you've already done it. So we're just going to do that. Oh, and see what else can you do. So the rules of riffing are know where you're starting, know where you're ending, and have fun. I'm not understanding. That's really it. And then play within that. So know what note you're starting on, like know the bass notes, right? Here's where I've got oh, oh, and then within that, I can do some other stuff. So I can go oh, all I did was add a little, I just kind of fall off the end, oh, right? I'm just, instead of stopping here, I just keep going. Oh, that's the third one. Make sure you fit it in the chord. Like, make sure that where you're going and what you're doing fits with the music. That's it. So I ended, the end is actually here, but my chord can go down to here, so that's what I did. So I'm just doing oh, or I can decide instead of falling down, because again, so emotionally, this kind of gives me a little bit more of a, I don't want to say like downer. It's not like depressing. It's just like you can tell that's not it's not uplifting. I'm not doing more. So if I want to do more or like give it bigger, I would either still take that same thing, oh, oh. So I just kept going up instead of coming straight down. Oh, again, I picked another note in the chord and then still came back down to where I should have been, to where that melody was. So I'm just kind of playing around with that melody and seeing, okay, I can go down with it, I could go up, like what kind of comes out. The other thing you can do is pick the harmony part. So if you listen, the first time they all sing them unison, oh, and then that second time, some of them are going up, oh, right? So sometimes it's more fun if I just, if that's like a big deal for you and you really don't like ad-lib very much, just take the harmony part and it at least does something different. It brings you to a different place and gives you something else to do. So other than that, I would say also just really have fun. So, and I say that then going to say, this is just play, and sometimes you're going to find stuff that you're like, yeah, that sounded awesome. Sometimes it's going to sound terrible. That's why you do it in practice. Because if you do it in practice, then it's okay that it sounds terrible, and you don't have to worry about it so much. Because you're not like on stage. I've done it where I'm still playing on stage, and then I was like, that was not good. No, I should not do that. So take these little things and kind of really work to make it your own. And yeah, that's it. So really connect emotionally, have that connection of what it really means to you. Let that drive your choices vocally. And then really keep that groove in mind, keep that diction kind of driving, but make sure that you keep a nice solid stream of pretty tone underneath, especially for a song like this. And then really just make those ad libs your own. Work out doing something else. Don't feel like you have to copy or be her or sing as high. Like, make it your voice and what fits your voice best. So if you're not really comfortable way up there in the rafters like she is, because it's crazy, then that's great. Like, keep your ad libs all in this lower range. I love that this song is, other than the crazy ad libs that she does, is actually really not a huge wide range. So it's really doable for any level of singer as far as actually being able to hit the notes. So hope that helps, and happy practicing. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, you can let me know in the comments or ask any questions that you have. Subscribe to my channel and get videos delivered direct to your email. You can also support me on Patreon. Happy singing!